to you.
Who needs to get the volume on?
Betty does.
On your computer, there should be on the keypad a volume control. Can you hear me? I don't know how to help you.
Betty? Betty?
Yeah.
Unmute yourself.
Huh?
Unmute yourself.
I don't know how to unmute me.
She said she doesn't know how to unmute her.
Well, she's not
Leah.
muted. She's unmuted because we can hear her talking. Can she not hear us talking?
Oh, I hear you talking.
Okay. So you're good. We can hear you. You're good.
Oh, okay.
We're all good. Okay, so then the last thing I did, the 4 layers, let's review. Okay, first I did a drawing. Second, I did the tissue paper collage. Third, I painted. And fourth, these other pictures, what are these from? These are from magazines, right? So these flowers, this flower, these little birds, these are from magazines, okay? So that's a really nice 4-step collage that works every time. I've never really struggled with it. I always enjoy it. It's a process that I know is a guarantee, right? So I'm going to go ahead and show you. I prepared a little slideshow for today to inspire us, and I want to give a specific assignment. And that assignment is going to be to make a collage about a house. Okay, so this is our specific assignment for this week. We're going to make a collage about a house. So when I say about a house, I'm pretty much talking about the actual structure of the house. So a lot of us might live in row houses, right? So if we live in a house, it's connected to other houses. I want you to illustrate that either in a front view, which means like you're standing in front looking at it, or in a side view. Now, if you're standing at a side view, that's what we call a vanishing point perspective. So what happens is that you're gonna draw a line, and I can actually draw that. So this is what I would call a rural area, and I don't think any of us live in the country. Does anybody here live in the country? No, we're all urban. Okay, so this landscape doesn't really apply to us, but you can see how they used foreground, midground, and background, right? So it's like horizontal lines across the canvas that create this depth of field that makes like these bushes in the front, this row of houses closest to us, this row of houses far away, and then way back in the background are these trees, okay? So, and also this picture suggests that we're looking at it from a bird's eye view. So kind of above, like not really standing in front of it. Okay, let's look at these two. So the one on the left, I thought was really interesting because it suggests definitely a foreground, midground, mountainous background with a sky, which I think is lovely, right? So it's a little bit more complicated, but maybe some of you live in an apartment building. So this picture reminded me of what it would be like if you lived in a tower or a large, skinny apartment building with a lot of windows. So the buildings could go up, right? And you could be non-specific about your specific, location. But I thought this one was nice. And again, it has foreground, midground is the buildings, background is the small buildings, and then the mountains, 3 layers of mountains. Okay. This one on the left is a single house, right? And in front of the house, there are 2 trees, okay? And then technically there's space in front of the house to have like a little walkway, right? Like if somebody wanted to have a walkway. Also, they added clouds in the sky, right? So even though this house fills the frame, it still has perspective because there's objects in front of the house and there's a little bit of foreground in front of the house, which suggests that you could walk right inside the door, right?
Right.
Right. This picture, thank you so much. Okay, and then this one on the right is a little bit more abstract. It's like It's totally nice. I love it, but it's literally like a row of houses at the top. And then these pieces at the bottom, I think are just more doors and windows. Okay. This is a lovely one of, again, a house, right? A single house. It has a nice foreground perspective, a house, and a background, right? I think this collage, this doesn't really, you can't really see what's going on in it because it's kind of a bad picture. But the one on the right is kind of nice. It suggests the whole of a house with a triangular roof, and again, foreground, midground, background, right? Same with this one, right? So there's the house, and it's actually a little bit three-dimensional. That roof is coming out. There's a blue sky background, there's green grass, and then there's grass in front with a little cloud. This one's kind of cool. This is a very complicated collage though, right? This one probably took hours and hours of somebody sitting down and cutting out multiple pictures of buildings and figures and really, really working super hard on this collage. I'm not asking you to do anything that complicated. I'm actually looking more for the simplicity of sort of like the foreground. I want you to set the place of where you actually, or a house you actually call home. And sometimes for us, I think that home could be even sort of a fantasy, right? So there could be some resemblances to your actual home, but then like this picture is very imaginative, and it sort of implies a house, but also, you know, maybe they made up the location. Like my house isn't in a garden, but I could easily illustrate my house as being in a garden with like a little bit of wishful thinking, right? So maybe I want like roses all around my house, even though right now I have bushes or the driveway. Maybe I don't want the driveway. Maybe I want roses. So I could replace the driveway with flowers, but that would be my art, right? That would just be an idea that I have. So I feel like today, what I'd really like to demonstrate to everybody is how to create a collage with a foreground, midground, background, and a house. Okay, so I think I'm actually just gonna try to do it, and I'm gonna do it fairly quickly, but then I want you to do it. And since our class is shortened today, I'm just gonna ask you to do it on your own time. And then when we get together next week, we'll do it again, and we could kind of talk and see how everybody did with it. So my idea too is, because we've done jelly plate printing, asemic writing, painting on paper towels, a little bit of drawing, I feel like we've been gathering, you know, like a bird when they make their nest, we've been gathering materials that we can now use in these collages, right? So I'm going to start a new collage today. And like I shared with you, like this technique, I mean, it's kind of ironic, but like I said, my mom collaged like this. So I've been exposed to this type of like sort of, I call this surrealism, because it's not exactly reality. It's much more fantasy, you know, like they're just birds randomly flying out of the top. Like I enjoy those types of imaginary embellishments because they make me happy, right? So if you want to be like more realistic, you can choose, you know, a color palette that represents realism. So if you live in Philadelphia, our color palette is gray, right? Like the primary color that we see in the city is gray. Maybe we see beige, maybe we see green, maybe we see a little bit of blue, but that's like a very minimalistic color palette. My color palettes always tend to be either pastel-y or very vibrant like this, where it's yellows and pinks and purples. I used to do a lot of very black and white work, but I do more colorful work than I used to, I guess. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Where's my bucket? I totally lost my, And now I've lost all my art supplies. Oh, here it is. Wow, I'm like staring right at it. Okay, so I've kept a little bucket, right, of my materials. And, you know, remember we've done a couple collages like this, right? So, and I've done this one, right? I've done these in class with you, right? And I did, but I think I'm gonna start a new one. I think I'm gonna start a new one today. I did this. Now I think I could actually use this one as my background. So I can flip it around. But I think I like this as the ground. Okay, so, and again, like I could use tissue paper. I bought this pack of tissue paper, which is like multicolored. It probably costs like all of like $2 at the dollar store, but it has some nice colors in it. So I'm thinking about my house and I could sketch it really quick. Let me just grab a pencil. I'm gonna just draw my house really quick. So my house, I don't know what shape your house is. My house is a rectangle, right? And my house sits on a street. So I'm just gonna sketch it. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick a horizon line. Now there's no right and wrong to a horizon line. You can have a middle horizon line here, or you can have a bottom, like 1, 2, 3. You can have a 1/4, right, horizon line right here. And if you wanted to use a ruler, you can use a ruler. Notice I'm using a pencil so that if I want, I can erase. All right, so I'm gonna make this my horizon line, meaning, well, actually, this is gonna be my front line. This is gonna be my gate. We have at my house a fence. So I have one of those nice, I have a nice wrought iron fence. It literally looks like this. So I'm just gonna start sketching this in here. And I've been working with mixed media for so long, I don't really think I could be satisfied with anything else. Like I like working on the uneven surfaces. I like sort of manipulating the textures. And
Me too.
because most of this color is neutral. All right, so there's my fence, and I'm trying to remember what else my fence has in it. I could kind of get more ornate later, but let's just say it has these. I'm just going to do this roughly here. And I like sketching. Sometimes I think it's fun to sketch. All right, there's my fence. And then I'm going to say, here's my house, right? So my house is rectangular. So it goes like this. Right, and then I have a second story, which might went to squish in here. I should have made it a little bit smaller. And off the second story too, I have a porch. So I can put my porch roof like this. Right, here's my porch. Okay, so here's my roof coming forward. I have 2 pillars in the front, and then here I have the front door. All right, and then up here I have 2 windows. Okay, so now that I kind of have this sketched out, I could use some collage material in different papers, right? So I can use papers that I already have. So let's look at what I have. I have lots of paper from the brayer, right? So I have red, right? You guys should have a lot of these papers from other classes that we've made, a lot of prints that you've made from jelly plate printing, right? You should have a lot of textures, right? And last week, we used a lot of your personal items. Actually, from my stuff that I did last week, my favorite was the stuff I did with my credit card. At the end, do you guys remember when I did the credit card and the money? Like that
Yeah.
was my favorite. This one I actually really like too. This is the paper towel. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start layering this, and it's perfect. Like here's a square. And again, like when you start collaging, it can be abstract for a while. So I know that my house is gonna be 2 rectangles. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this blue paper towel down as the 2 rectangles, right? So this is now officially going to be my house. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue this. And then what's on top of my house are the windows, right? So then I can add the windows, right? And this paper towel is not going to be translucent. So if I wanted to change my mind, let's just see as another example. I could use, and remember I gave you guys really nice scissors, right? I could use my scissors, and because my house, I don't know about everybody else's house, but my house is a bunch of rectangles, right? So theoretically, I could just take up the collage materials that I made, and I could cut a bunch of different size rectangles. And I could theoretically make, 3 or 4 houses. So if you want to do more than one of these collages, right, that's fine. And then if you have a sidewalk in front of your house, right, or if you want to set your house back further, and create some type of a rural landscape or fantasy landscape, you totally can too, right? All right, so here I have a bunch of rectangles, right? So I have a red one, I have a blue one, right? So I was thinking that these could be windows, right? And then this is gonna be, and I'm looking at my drawing, right? Here's my house. So maybe this is the top, my second floor. Well, my first floor should be bigger, so whichever one's bigger, let's see. Here, this is gonna be my first floor. And this can be my second floor, right? I kind of like that. And then I might want them to overlap. So I'm just going to make them a little bit closer together. All right, so theoretically, right? And again, like I can draw my top of my fence back over this line after I glue it down. So let me glue it. I'm going to grab a foam brush. I don't know what you guys are using to glue, but I definitely use, a lot of times I use these foam brushes, right?
Yeah.
And I bought these for you guys, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and put the glue onto the paper. And remembering my collages are always heavily layered. Notice the word layered. Oh, and I ripped it. And I don't even worry about stuff like that. So that's the only problem though with tissue paper, right? Is that it's very soft, right? I pulled too hard on it. But notice what's really nice about the tissue paper is that I can wrinkle it. Okay, so that's actually one of my favorites.
Like it.
I like it wrinkled too. I love the wrinkles. I love the
I
wrinkles.
do too.
I know, me too, me too. So I kind of put enough glue on the back and then I push it together with my fingers, right, to get the wrinkles. Okay, and then look, this is so funny. It doesn't fit together correctly, but that's okay. So look, I can play around too with, I don't like the red because I have the red background. So let's just say that this is the top of, I want to use this paper towel. So let's see how the paper towel reacts to this. And remember something else. So I have a tendency, and I've been trying to actually change this, but I have a tendency to make my art fill the frame. Does everybody? So you don't have to do that. Your house could be small too, right? Do you see how my house fills my board? But you don't have to do that, right? Your house could be much smaller, right? And you also, if you live on a street, like a row house or in a, right? Oh, and look what happens with the paper towel. Hold on, hold on. So look what happens with the paper towel. It actually has 2 layers. So let's see if I do, let's see. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Did you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of cool. I'm gonna let that go. And I'm gonna use this underneath layer, but I think what I'm gonna do, oh, watch this. I'm gonna make this my windows now. So look, sometimes materials, they make you creative, right? So here's my one window. I love this paper towel though, with the paint on it, and the mark making is so beautiful. All right, so look, I can put this one here. There's a window. It's a little bit big for a window though, but you know what? Remember, you're the artist, so it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't have to be realistic. Oh, and you know what? You know, this is so funny. So I have two rectangular windows upstairs, but actually my downstairs front window, I actually have a pretty cool old style window where I have a rounded arch, like this. And then I'm gonna put one more paper. So you see how I'm using all of the papers that I made in the collage. Let me see. So this is gonna be my downstairs. Okay. So I have to trim it a little bit, but this is my window downstairs. And again, I know that after this collage dries, I have opportunity to paint it again, right? Or change it. So this window looks a little bit big. Can everybody see? So this is my very creative, very funky house, okay? And that's cool, I like it because I'm gonna just go with it. And I might even make a couple of these and change things slightly as I make each one. Let's say I make 2 of my house. And I know that the second one I make of my house, I'm gonna make my house a little bit smaller, right? And by making my house smaller, I could maybe include my driveway. I have a really nice tree next to my house on my driveway. I could make something imaginary, right? If you wanted to put more detail work in it, you could put, you know, windowsills, right? Here's my little windowsills. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this other window on there. Now, as far as my wrought iron fence goes, I'm gonna just, oh wait, I think I wanna do that. Upright, right, there's my center window. Oh, and I need my front door. So here's my window and I still have a front door. Can't forget about my front door. Nobody can come over and see me. That would be bad, or I wouldn't get any mail. I barely get mail now, right? I know. All right, so there's my living room window, right? And that looks pretty. Oh, I love it. All right, and now I have to put my front door on. So I think because I used the red right there, there's my house. It looks funny, but it looks cute. There's my house. I'm gonna put the red, I'm gonna do a red door. So I could either do, based on what I have here right now, I could either do a red door or I could do a white door. Maybe I should do a white door. Oh wait, I have a lot of choices actually. I could do a really red door. Let's see. I'm gonna do a white door.
No,
Again,
my
I'm
house
gonna,
has a red door.
you like the red door, you think?
I have a red door for real.
Oh, you do? I actually have a blue door, which is funny. So wait, my door has to be, this is just kind of minimal. To make it a little bit smaller. I'm gonna have to make my door smaller. I can only have small people over now. All right, there's my door. So I kind of like my door lighter. So I'm just gonna go ahead with my door. Now, if I had a bunch of green stuff, you can tell that I don't love the color green. Although I do try to love the color green. I don't have a lot of green stuff. All right. So I'm gonna focus now on a couple more collage elements. One being I have a little path. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a path. And when I cut the path, I'm gonna make it wider at the bottom. And that represents the fact that it's getting, so I made it like a triangle, right? So that suggests that it's coming out towards the street, right? Right, so here's my path. There's my little path to my door, right? And then what I'm gonna do is I can take the pencil and I can layer back over the path so that it looks like the path is behind the fence. Does that make sense? Okay, so this is like another way that we're in collage, we're constantly can be layering, because right now I'm gonna cover the fence. I'm gonna put this here as my path out to the road, right? Now, like you could do other things too, like at the bottom here, because I know this is the road, I could put the roofs of cars, right? Because I know that there's cars parked out on my street. And then look what happens is I go over you know, let's say this is my fence. I go over it with the pencil, right? So again, it's like over, I always call it like weaving, over, under, right? You can go over. Right, so now my fence goes over over the path, and the path comes out onto the sidewalk, right? Okay. Now theoretically too, this would be the gate, so I'd have like a door, and I could work more on the gate. Okay, and then let's see, I have like a door knocker and my doorknob. Right, so I could doodle there. Here, I could actually draw too on here and put my window panes, and up here I have this nice, so I'm just doing this with, I have a nice like window up here, right? All right, so I'm gonna add a couple more details. All right, so now it's starting to look a little bit more like a house, although the white, I don't think the white up here is working. So I could, you know, do you think that looks better? I mean, I could add some more collage elements, right? Around the windows. I could add, you like the red? I could add the red. Here, I can cut this out too, which will be nice. So sometimes these collages just happen sort of serendipitously, and they don't, remember, it doesn't have to look exactly like your house. I mean, this is art, ladies. We're not trying to, you know, we're trying to just have fun here. We don't have to be realists. Oh, I kind of like that. You guys like that? I just added that other layer. I'm gonna go with it. And I feel like I want to add something to my door too. I'm just gonna add some stuff. All right, so this is gonna be our next assignment. If everybody could work on this, can everybody work on this week?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just to take, and I want you to take the materials that we've used, and we're gonna do a collage layered rendition of, a very rough rendition of what our houses look like. And it's starting to look like a house. It's starting to look like a house, right? It's pretty cute. And I love all the different papers. And I don't want it to be too literal. I want it to be abstract, right? And I love it. I'm loving these little dots right here, right? And maybe at the bottom, there could be like some flower beds, right? So flower beds, you know, like flowers, there could just be these pink, you know, you could just put paper here, could just sort of represent, right? Because you, the artist, can know what it is, and you can add stuff that inspire. It doesn't have to be exact. See, now I like this at the bottom because it kind of makes me feel like this is going back because this is coming forward. Does that make sense? So I try to practice that layering. Also, there's gonna have to be some bushes or something. And again, like this could be the bushes, right? Because it's light. I could put it here, and then what would I have to do? I would have to draw the fence, right? Back in front of the bush. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Now the bush, because I have these two big bushes that sit along the path in front of my house. All right, I'm gonna glue those down. So I think we have to stop for today. Any questions?
Do you want to see my?
Yeah, I'd love to
Number
see
three.
anybody who wants to share. Anybody want to share? Did anybody work while we were working? Let me see. I'm gonna put.
I got a board number 3 finished.
Oh, you did?
Coloring it.
Aw. I don't think we have your picture though.
Oh, you don't have Betty?
I don't. No, Betty, I don't
No.
see you. I hear you, but I don't.
Oh, okay.
see you.
I have troubles.
All right. Does anybody? That's okay. All right, wait, let's do Ruby first.
Okay.
Hold on. Oh, Ruby. Oh, wow. That's an exciting collage.
Very
Now I
nice.
can't see it.
I can't see it either.
Hold
I
on,
see
I'm
it's
gonna-
very
hold
nice,
on.
Ruby.
How do you make it larger?
Oh, dear. I see Ruby now.
Wait a
Hold
minute.
up, Ruby.
Hold it up, Ruby.
Here she goes. Can you see her now?
Oh,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful, Ruby. I love it. I love
Yeah,
it.
that's very nice.
That's very nice. Beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, Sue Ann, you want to share one?
These are just prints from a jelly pad.
Okay, let me see. Oh, nice. Oh, I love
Oh,
those
Yeah, that's
colors.
nice.
That's pretty. Who did that?
That's Sue
Sue
Ann's.
Ann.
Oh, Duran.
It's just
Oh,
prints from
okay.
a
She did
jelly
two,
pad.
huh? She got two done. I got three.
Oh, good.
It's not a whole collage. It's just prints on from the, the jelly thing we have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
just put
good.
paint on
use
it.
jelly. I use everything.
You love it? Do you guys love the jelly plaid?
That is nice.
I know,
Yeah,
it's
it's
so
nice.
fun. Did anybody try their credit cards or, that would be fun. I love the credit card. That was my favorite.
This is my jelly pad.
All right, wait, hang on. Let me switch you. Hold on. I just spilled glue all over my thing. Let me switch you. Thank you, Sue Ann. Oh, wait, we're going back to Ruby.
Well-
Oh, I love that.
Cool.
Wow,
Oh, Ruby got that too.
Nice.
Wow.
that's awesome.
I look at it,
Yeah.
it's like little birds.
Hold it up again, Ruby.
Well, oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, I love
Very
that
nice.
blue. Oh, it's
Okay.
beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
That's so beautiful. I love it. All right, wait, who else wanted to share? Lynette? Did you
Not
want to share?
today.
Okay, that's
That's
totally
not-
fine. Joanne or Diane, do you want to share, sweetie?
Well, this is just from the jelly.
Wait, let me switch you back. Hang on, I'm gonna switch you. Hold on, here you go. There you go. Oh, nice.
Oh, that's really pretty.
Okay, so I want you guys to take all of those beautiful jelly plate prints that you made and you gotta get brave and you gotta cut them up, okay?
Yeah.
Gotta cut them up. See, and now I love my house even more. Cause it's literally like all my favorite jelly plate.
Very nice.
Oh, yeah.
I love the bush in the front. And then you know what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna redraw that wrought iron fence right there. And so now it's starting to look like a house. And then I'll do something to edge it, right? So that it pops off of this background, right? And I'll kind of make this darker wherever my horizon line is. And we'll talk a little bit more next week about horizon lines and maybe putting a vantage point together if you want to try to do like a whole street. I also wanted to talk about two other things coming up in the next couple of weeks. One is a lot of people might feel like they don't identify with an architectural structure as their home base. So because I've done a lot of work with body image and positive mind and body thinking, I wanted to put out there that your body, your physical body, our body can be our home, right? And then kind of in almost like an aura or an energy field around us, we can put things that are connected with us and our body that are important to our lives sort of around us, right? So if you wanted to use the female body or a physical body as your representation of home and not architecture, we can talk about that too. So I think next week we'll do a little bit more architecture. And then the following week, we might do something about the body because, you know, things can happen to our homes. We might have to move, we might have to sell, you know, whatever. We might get a job somewhere else. So these things happen, but we are always going to have our bodies, right? As long as we're alive in this world. And many of us find comfort in feeling at home in our bodies. So I just wanted to put that out there. Just in case you were not feeling interested in so much as the architectural structure for your artwork, okay? So try the house just for fun because it's fairly simple, triangles and rectangles, and cut up some of your jelly plates, make a nice collage, and then we'll talk about these other topics like vantage point if you want to try to do a street, and then the week after that, we're going to do something about the physical body, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, great. Well, I'm glad you all made it. And have a great day. And I'm
Leah,
gonna do a little bit more work for my
Thank you,
house and
Leah.
I'll share. Okay.
Leah,
Okay.
Thank
Bye,
you, Leah.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Good work. Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much. Bye.